Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles. Cause anything is possible. Hey. Oh man, I got a lot of goals.
So welcome all to the Newcrown podcast. I'm Daryl. I am back with another guest. This guest, friend of mine, we worked in numerous projects actually in a documentary together that screened at a cinema du Parc, and also another project that we worked together for one of the friends' sort of class shoot or student film. So you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jela de la Peña. Thank you, Daryl, for having me in your project. I'm excited to talk about myself, what I have been doing in Montreal, I can hope that I can contribute to the media here and likewise in the Philippines where I was born and raised.
Nice. So where exactly in the Philippines were you born and raised?
I was born in Pangasinan. If you don't know where that is, it's in Region 1. In Luzon, it's just under Ilocos Sur.
Okay. So how did you was film something that you always wanted to do, or was it kind of like something you fell in love with later? How did that happen?
Yeah. I only found out that I like films when I moved here to Montreal. My whole life, I really like science. It's not that my parents imposed it on me. But I do know that when I was younger, my mom put me into a lot of like dancing competitions and all that. And then life got harder, and my parents realized, okay, maybe we stop the extracurricular activities and put you into more serious stuff. And I became kind of like a prodigy, like a science prodigy. Like I would be going into national competitions for science quiz bees,
Oh
and
wow.
I would be winning them all throughout high school. Like in my high school gate, they would put like a big banner of my name, like Jela de la Peña, national competitor in physics or in chemistry. So I was really like proud of myself. Like wow, people give me value for my brains. And I thought coming here to Montreal, okay, I'm gonna continue being like a physicist because I got accepted into University of the Philippines into the program of major in physics,
Mm.
like bachelor in science. And when I was doing, I was doing my high school here again because they said you got to do 2 more years of high school. That's just the policy, which is still it's very racist, very colonialist
Yes.
because like they're saying that like my education in the Philippines is not equivalent to their education here, which it is. And then I went to CJEP Dawson. I was still continuing science, right? And that's when I had a breakdown because I met all of these people of different backgrounds, and like I met people who were also queer like me in a lot of sense, like queer in terms of like personality and being different, how to call it, like maybe I am autistic also and also ADHD because I realize I can't really focus on reading so much materials and then studying. And I like one semester I took like an elective in art class,
Yeah.
and then I met more friends that I liked there than in science, and then I just switched into the next semester. I went into what to call it, a cinema and
In
communications in
communications, yes.
Dawson. Yeah, and that's when I was like, oh my god, can I swear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I actually did mushrooms. Okay, that's one of the other things that like liberated me because you know how like in Philippines, like using drugs recreationally is very looked down upon. Like
Sure, yeah.
the president who was on and killing people who were like using drugs in the Philippines. Not even the big sellers, but like he
Yeah.
was
The users, yeah.
yeah, the users who are not even like shouldn't be punished for it. Like they should get help for it. And so like that really scared me. But then when I got here, like I got that freedom of people telling me that like you can use this for fun, or like like freeing up your mind. And I used mushrooms, but like it was kind of a bad trip because I used way too much of it. And yeah, it was like how like people microdose mushrooms to
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to be creative, I'm gonna like do like half a gram to like write a poetry or like paint. Oh no, I was tripping for like 12 hours. But then that's when like I had this like vision. I was hallucinating very hard, and that was when I made the decision of like, okay, science is not really making me happy, like in the medicine field is not really making me happy. I want to do something that maybe an inner child me always wanted to do, and that is to create stories
Mm,
and to put them into things that I want people to see the way I see things myself. And
mm.
like like why else would I be having so much vivid visions while I'm on recreational drugs, if that is not something that I would want to do, or like something that I would want to explore on later. And at first, I was also like just like every other film boys were like, I just want to create edgy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the
Artsy.
pandemic hit. I graduated CJEP. I graduated Dawson online.
Oh
But
wow.
then, yeah, I graduated Dawson online. I had to enter Concordia online too. But then my first semester was in person though, so that was crazy. But one of the films that I made in my portfolio to enter Concordia is a film about an overworked employee. She's exploited, and she gets like this visions of like basically killing her employer
Oh, okay.
because like she got spat on and she got called like a Chinese virus, even
Okay.
though the
Yeah.
character in my film is Filipino.
Yeah.
And well, it's from a Filipino perspective, so I
Yeah.
myself. And yeah, that's one of my films that got me into university. And the more and more that I make films, it it ties up into how I am as an immigrant, and like how you call it, because I didn't immigrate here at such a young age that
Mm.
all of my impression of the world is just from Western. Like I came here at like 18 years old. I already had a lot of consciousness of what it's like in the
Yeah.
Philippines, and then how different it is to live here. Like everything here is out of privilege. Like we get, like even though we work a lot, like the things that we get is still so much better than we do in the Philippines. Because in the Philippines there's like age limits for everything. Like if you want to work as a cashier in a fast food chain, you have to have a university degree.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, if like say like you want to work as a cashier in McDonald's in the Philippines or in
Yeah.
Jollibee, they would ask for your university diploma.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so like, and here like when I saw that, like when people like Tim Hortons is hiring and you only need your high school diploma, I was like, wow, like why do we need so much, back in our country for all of these things? And right now my cousin is asking me for a little bit of money
Mm.
for like the requirements that she needs to work there, and it's like 2,000 pesos.
Yes.
It's like the medical, they need to have like a medical exam, they to do all of their taxes, they need to do like the BIR, the pag-asa healthcare, all of that, to get into like just a cashier job or like a receptionist
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like, wow, this is so, you know and wait, are we going to the next question? You can cut this out
No,
as
no,
well,
no,
I'm
it's cool,
gonna
it's
ask
cool,
you.
it's cool. Keep going, keep going.
That's cool. Okay. And then so I did 2 years in university. It's good. It's nice. I met so much people. I kind of, now that I'm not in university currently, I'm taking a break. I kind of saw how it's like bullshit to be in film prod. in film
Oh, really?
production. It's kind of bullshit to be in film production, but it's also okay. There's like cons and pros. Cons,
Yeah.
of course, so much fucking money, so much money. And cons is like, say, like for people like me who really like I have bad hearing, and
Mm,
I'm pretty sure that like a lot of people also have hearing disabilities.
mm,
And when you sit in a 200 person class
mm,
and the teacher is barely speaking into the mic, you cannot hear shit.
yeah.
Like they would, especially the old professors, they would be mumbling, and they would forget that they're holding a mic. So
Mm.
unless you're sitting right in front of them, you cannot absorb any lecture that
Information.
they're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
like at that time it was okay for me because it, like, how classes were hybrid.
Yeah.
Like they would, like, if people were sick, you can like tune in
Go home.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or like, say, like if you miss the class because of something, they recorded the lecture, and then you can
Rewatch
watch it
it.
again.
Yeah.
And so like that's how I was able to like listen and actually understand what the professor is saying.
Mm.
But now that they remove that, because everything is in person again, it's so inaccessible for me
Mm.
to actually listen to the lectures and to read, like, you have to read like 50 pages, a week. And that's like 4 classes, like 50
Yeah.
pages for like 4 classes, like 200 pages. And then on top of that, you have to work. On top of that, you have to like have time for yourself, do your chores, do your laundry,
Yeah.
have social life. I don't even know. And then
What is that?
like
What is that? What is that social? What is that?
like what is social life? Like people ask me to like eat with them. That's it. Like I don't even go to parties anymore. And that's like the pros of university. You get to socialize, let's say, like in classes and all that. Like, say, if you're an introvert and you don't have any way of like making connections, you go to classes, you make friends.
Mm.
And like maybe you kiss ass of your teacher so that they can like commend you later for an internship.
Yeah.
But then you have to work for yourself still.
Yeah.
Like if you just sit there in class and not participate, like nobody will know your name.
Mm.
And then um another pros though is that I was able to join um other productions that is outside of my program.
Yeah.
It's like people from intermedia. I was able to like join live TV shows, and then from that on the director keep like contacting
Contact.
me for
Yeah.
more gigs. And but like that is because I saw that from an Instagram post that I applied to myself. It's not even a newsletter directly from Fine Arts in Concordia, like someone is
Yeah.
like, hey, we're hiring a grip,
Yeah.
apply in the link in my bio. Like,
Yeah.
okay, and boom, it's like if I can do that myself outside of school,
Yeah.
why can't I do that this whole
Exactly.
time? You know what
Like.
I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of like the pros and cons, because like I found that Instagram post through like a friend that I found that I met in school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like I met them through school, but I made the application myself on my own. So it's kind of like a balance of, like meeting the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
networking.
still
Networking is definitely important.
networking, but also like the amount of money that you have to pay for all the other electives, it's not it.
That's why I
It's
left.
not
That's why I left. Like I'm paying money for classes that aren't even my like in my concentration courses.
right. Like the electives, like like none of the classes were available anymore, and like the only classes were like the languages. So
Yeah.
one time I had to enroll in German class, and I regretted it so much. It was like, I'm like, is there any way that I will be using this language in my whole life? Like I
I
don't.
you never know. You could work. You could go to Europe for make a movie. You could make movie in German.
Oh my god! And then one of my big regrets is that I bought the online book that costed $200, and I cannot refund it.
I've never bought a book in university. Everything I found online for free. All the
I
PDFs.
know, that's like one of the things you learn in university. Do not buy a $200 book.
Don't buy
If
anything.
you cannot find it on the internet, you're like wasting your time. Like I think
Yeah.
like information like that should be accessible to people, and that's why
Mhm.
I've been like seeing a lot of debate, like how like articles are now behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Will like name dropping Jeff Bezos and all Elon Musk, like controlling all of the
Yeah.
mainstream
Yeah.
news articles, which are still bad because like they're mostly capitalist propaganda still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, Amazon employees are not really getting abused.
Yeah.
Oh, then why are people striking?
Yeah.
You know. Um
But
wow,
yeah,
that was a long tangent.
no, that
Yeah,
was good. That was good.
guide me with your questions.
Yeah, no, like, 'cause I want to talk more about like the actual production, like the what classes do you usually have in film production? Because I know it's first of all, it's very very like limited access. Like I think it's 60 people only that can get
Yeah,
in, and also you have to pay
yeah.
a lot of money. So it's like I guess it prioritizes the people outside of Montreal, Canada, or So what is your experience in like university in terms of like the actual class themselves? Are they useful? Are they not?
Yeah, the actual classes, well, you got like the concentration classes, like the lab ones where like
Mm,
you actually get into the studio and you play with the cameras, the lighting, the sound equipment, and the laboratory. Those are really fun. I think like that's the thing that's very worth it in Concordia. Like I know that if I'm going again, I would only take the production class, the lab
mm,
classes, and I
mm.
will not waste my time taking theory classes, even
Yeah,
if like they say that like if you don't take your theory classes and the electives, you are not graduating. And you know what?
yeah,
I'm okay not graduating.
yeah.
I'm okay being a college dropout.
it's
Like
a it's it's a new cool. It's a new cool. It's
no, for real, like I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm a film school graduate. Ew, I want to be a film school
drop
dropout.
out.
Because you know what, the best year of my life in Concordia is in my second year when I was only taking one class, and it's the one production class. It's the class
Oh,
that matters the most.
yeah.
Because like say um well, in first year you have to take everything, so you learn how to do montage, how to do like basics of sound, of camera. But then in second year, that's where you kind of you have to find out where you want to specialize in. Like some
Mm.
people are okay not directing, some people are they just want to do
Oh,
oops so okay, they just want to do cinematography,
okay.
and some people just want to do sound, and some people just want to do art direction.
Mm.
So you really get to know what you like in those classes. But if you don't do university and you already know what you like,
Yeah,
don't bother. Like do what you already want to do, or do like what you think you're good at doing. It's
yeah,
I think like it's helpful for people who are really clueless with what they're doing. It's like if they need guidance into like, okay, I have a knack for this department, but I want to develop my skills more in that department, that kind of thing. So in my second year we were taking the film to production, which is where you pitch your story, and then in fiction classes you pitch your story, and then a jury will vote if you
oh,
get to
to make the film.
if you get to make your
Okay.
film or not, which sucks for them because I am not in that class.
Yeah.
I am in nonfiction,
Ah.
where we everybody in the class gets to make their film.
Oh,
It's just
really?
Yeah, it's just that the only difference is that in fiction they get like they get more priority in using the film production studio in the EB
Oh,
building,
okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
and they get priority in using like the ARRI
Oh,
cameras.
the big cameras. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, the big cameras like the Reds,
Yeah.
the thing. And in experimental, that's why in nonfiction, like you either do experimental or documentaries.
Yeah.
And I did some, well, I'll get to that later. So everybody gets to pitch their thing, and if you want to do it, you do it. If you only want to do a sketch of your idea, you can do that too. Like the point is just you have to make like a final outcome by the end of the year.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, so in the first semester we took like image class and sound class. That's like prerequisite into taking the second semester,
Mm.
and it was cool. Yeah, we learned lighting, we learned sound.
You could have
I
learned
hate
all.
sound.
You could have learned all of that in on YouTube for free.
No, I'm saying, or like, dude, like I okay, it was fun, like, oh, I feel so like special learning all of this in the lab. But then I also learned all of it in sets outside of school.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. You do. You learn all that on set.
And the thing is, like, if you don't want to do sound, you can ask people to do sound for you.
Yeah. Sound actually funny enough because sound is probably arguably the most important, if not one of the most important things in film. It's like literally like it's,
What about silent films?
the thing is about silent films that they're a very small niche and they're like very specific to a like a like not everyone will watch a silent film unless there's like it's very stylized in more visual manner. But I feel like like with sound, even if it's not like dialogue, even if it's just music,
Hmm.
it is a very very big impact. Like even in exciting films, I don't know if you watch Sunrise.
I think is that like one of the new ones?
No, it's one of the old like 1920 films that we usually watch in like
I feel like
theater
it's
classes.
silent
Yeah, yeah,
era.
yeah. It
Mm.
was silent era, but there's also the sound effects and the music, so it wasn't complete silence. It was just like it was silent. It
Oh,
was
it's
in
just like
dialogue.
non-dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. So like that in itself, even when you're not talking about dialogue, if you're doing sound mixing on that, it's very important. So like, it's funny because it's the most dreaded thing because it's so hard to do.
It's so hard to do. It's like I get it. If you're a director, you also gotta have like a sense of what you want to have in your film.
Yeah,
But I think you can easily, like learn your style in that by watching films that you like, or
yeah,
like watching films that like, okay, this inspires me to do like in my own film because this is like my style.
mm.
But then if you don't like doing, like, say, I don't want to be a sound operator, or I don't want to be a sound engineer, or like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
like
yeah.
a sound mixer, like I don't think you should be pressured into doing that, because like
Oh, you were pressured to do that
you
in
are
the.
like it is obligatory to take that class.
Oh, okay. It's not like a option class then. It's
No,
definitely.
no, no, no. Yeah, it's like one of the mandatory film production classes.
Oh damn.
Like you have to do that, and then and like you realize at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, no, I am not doing any sound for other sets. I'm hiring a sound mixer,
Yeah.
and I think that's fine. Like you don't like it's good that you have knowledge of like little departments, but I film for me is a big collaboration.
Yeah, yeah. It is
Like
very much.
you
Yeah.
have to find, yeah, you have to find the people that you really jam with, and then you brainstorm with like, this is the image, what do you think should the sound that should accompany with this, and you talk
Yeah.
to that with like the composer,
Yeah.
and they also give you their perspective, their expertise on this thing.
Mm,
And I think it's fine to be sometimes lost when making a film,
hmm.
because like the beauty of filmmaking is that even though, say, like authorism, fuck being an author. I think fuck being an author. I think hot take, authors, like I think
Overrated.
they're
Overrated. Overrated.
overrated, and they're snobs. It's like, this is my vision, this is my thing, I will supervise editing and the sound making. Like, okay, one man band, okay, Owl City. um I like the beauty of like sitting in a big room with all of my crew,
Yeah.
brainstorming about like what it should look like,
Yeah.
and then like mixing it and mixing it and mixing it, and then like like sitting in for feedbacks, and
Mm,
then multiple drafts
mm.
until
You guys have a
I feel like
collective
so like
image. Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's a group accomplishment essentially.
Yeah, and like I think like okay, here's another criticism that
Go on, go, go
I
ahead.
found in film production, okay? Because in nonfiction in my section, when I made my film Aking Sinakulo, which coming out soon in
Oh,
Concordia, I'm
if
having a screening in Shift.
if you have a link, I'll put it in the description. If you have a link for tickets or whatever,
Oh yeah,
or for the screening
it's
itself.
still I'm gonna when are you
Probably in
doing this?
December. Probably
Okay,
coming in
cool.
December.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm in talks with the date of the screening, and so I will let you
Yeah.
know. It's
Let
in
me know.
Ship Space. Yeah.
Cool, cool.
So biggest criticism is in my section. I'm glad that I was able to pick my crew because in fiction section, the highly prioritized
Yeah,
students,
the elites.
the elites, which I think is
Yeah.
they don't get to pick their crew. Whoever is in your class,
Oh,
they draw
really?
from a hat, they get that role.
Wow, really?
So, for example, okay, you're lucky, you pitch your story, you get to direct it. But who's your cinematographer? Someone in your class. Who's your sound? Someone in your class. Who's your producer? Someone in your class. Everybody in your class gets a role. And
Oh,
if you
wow.
don't like them, sucks. That sucks because
You, you,
you're
you
gonna have to work with it.
you can't pick. You can't pick at all.
You can't pick at all.
That's
That's
so
the thing.
why though? What's the?
I think it's because like well for example like I pitch and I didn't get my story produced,
Yeah.
but I still get to have one of the big roles, like say I'm assistant director,
Mm,
or say I can be the director of photography,
mm-hmm,
or say I can be the production manager of this.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like it's like kind of like okay, six people get to direct, and then like the other four people who boohoo, you didn't get your story picked, you're gonna get a main role at least. It's
Mm,
like they're like okay, like hierarchy,
okay.
and I hate that because I learned in my time there that if I'm gonna do a film that I'm gonna dedicate a year of my life into,
Mm-hmm,
and a portion of my soul, because for me the work that I do has to accumulate into my essence as an artist. Like I can't just do work that like just oh this is just for fun,
yeah,
or like
yeah,
oh this is
you
just
want to
like
you want to do the thing. You want to be passionate
yeah
about it.
I
Yes.
don't want to do just for the aesthetic, or like just because I'm bored. Like when I grow old, I want to look back and like see that all of the works that I've done is because of my passion, and it defines me as a filmmaker.
Mm,
And so if I was in that class and I just get to work with people that I don't really like, but I have to,
mm,
I would have been very frustrated,
mm-hmm.
because like what if I'm doing this very heavily political statement piece of a film, and you don't really care, or worse, you're the
Yeah.
opposite of it, like like say that like you're a conservative and you're
Yeah.
just being quiet about it. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want someone in the credits of my film, and then like what 20 years later you voted for someone like Trump,
Yeah.
like and so like in my film I got to handpick who I want to be my assistant director with, because like I gotta trust you, like you gotta know how to handle me when I'm frustrated, you
Mm,
gotta know to handle my crew when I don't have time. And then like my producer, like you gotta be reliable, like you gotta know where to go, where to get things and all that stuff. And my actors too, my actors are also Filipinos. It's Coco Mariano and Veronica Bertiz from Capo Center. And Coco Mariano, they're also a non-binary Filipino immigrant, and they're also a drag king, and they also do activism
mm,
performance. And I'm really glad to have been able to connected to those people, because they were able to like embody the concepts that I was trying to write into the film, because it's like a speculation of what our ancestors were living like, and
mm,
what were they punished for just for being just for existing as their own selves.
Yeah.
And I think like me living today as a also as a trans non-binary artist is, I think that is proof enough that if I'm real, then my ancestors who were like this should have also been
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
and that's basically like the synopsis of my film. Is like a speculation of neo-colonialism, and then
Yeah.
the past with
Yeah.
our, and like we don't even know, because like with the ethnic cleansing that they did on our peoples too,
Mm.
we don't have any like written archives of what our religions were like, what the babaylans, the shamans,
Yeah. The culture
all
is the
of the,
actual, the real culture. Yeah.
yeah, like the our priestesses, our our healers, and our like witchcraft, like we don't have any like hard proof of what they were. And so
Yeah.
I think I'm beginning to shape, mold myself as a filmmaker of speculation of my own heritage.
Mm.
And that is why with the work that I do now, in in community work too, where I also protest, and um, I also fight for the liberation of other nations, because if like they said that like it's never going to happen again, and
Mm.
it is happening right before our real eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's our generation's responsibility now to not to not let that happen to us anymore,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that happened to our people back then, and we live today as a proof of their solidarity, of their courage.
Yeah.
And and for you to be able to live in privilege, you're standing here today and you're not even doing anything to give back to your land, or like give back to the people who stood for you.
Yeah.
I think like like it's such a waste, and it's such a shame. Like we should be here to continue in it into the next generation,
Mm-hmm.
and not take it for granted. So yeah, that's, I think that's how I define myself as an artist and a filmmaker.
But you pitched the idea to the jury, and they didn't want to make the film, or was it what's the
Oh no, because I was in nonfiction, so
yeah, but like that's
everybody,
not. Oh, so you managed to make it then. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
everybody gets to make their film in
Film.
my
Okay.
section. It's
Gotcha.
just that it's gonna test your capacity on
Yeah.
doing it, because you're basically on your own. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you can make it, but you're on your own. So I was able to make it. Like I wrote so many grants, and they all accepted my pitch.
Mm-hmm.
They all funded my film. Like I got, like from grants in Concordia, I got almost like $6,000 in
Okay.
funding,
Yeah.
and it was able to supply all of my equipment, all of my materials, my props, and I was also able to give honorarium to my crew.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, like that's like one of like I guess my critic in film production. Like
Yeah.
they don't really teach you how to
Get those.
how to write the grant. Like we learned it on the go. Me and my producer, we were
Yeah.
writing it on the go.
Yeah.
And I saw people in fiction, I thought that like, oh, the department will help them. No, they didn't. Like what I saw them doing is that they were crowdfunding it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were
So, so,
crowdfunding
so
it.
so the school didn't even fund the productions themselves. They were just kind of
No,
like,
no, 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 no. If you like need, because like productions are like 3 days minimum.
yeah, yeah,
You have to feed people. Like those days are gonna be like 8-hour shoots, like at least.
yeah,
And when are you gonna get money to feed like 15 people out of your own pocket? And I'm like, I'm just a student. I was barely working at that time. I was working
yeah.
part time on minimum wage, and like thank God for the grant that I that I was able to provide food and transportation, and I
Sick.
was even able to like give like cash money to my
So
crew.
that's nice.
Yeah, so and that people in fiction weren't able to do that. And then afterwards they were asking me, "Oh my God, how were you able to get funding for your film?" And I said, "I wrote it."
I did it myself. Yeah.
Like, well, like like what else? Like they're all in there too. Like
But
the clubs are there to like help you for your projects. You
did,
get
did
your
you
money back.
did you send your production to any festivals or any like
I
distribution?
did. I am. I'm like waiting for so much of them to like
Oh,
get
they still
back
haven't
to me.
respond. They still haven't responded.
A lot. Some of them, because I applied to the very big ones. I was very
Every, every,
ambitious.
everyone. You have
Every
to.
okay, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I felt defeated, but I guess like like it's like part of the experience.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of applying to festivals. You go Tribeca, you go to TIFF, you go Cannes. Even
And none of them accept
yeah,
you. And
even
you
if
know what? That's fine.
exactly because
Like
why not?
you're literally what a 20-year-old trying to make film. Like it's okay. And so I think that's the journey I am on, accepting rejection, accepting
Yeah, you
defeat.
have to. You have to. You have to.
Yeah. And
It's part of the
then, but then
process. It's
I'm
part
like,
of the process. It's part of the
it's
process.
part. It's truly part of the painful process. But then I think I'm learning to like tailor to which festivals I should apply to
Yeah.
and see if I can get more spot in there. Because if I'm not gonna get into the general
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
genre festivals, maybe I can get into like say like well like a lot. I think a lot of festivals now are like arising from like say need of decolonization, especially like queer films
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
of color.
Definitely.
So I think like I might get more shot at that. And if my film is about that, then I think I also want my audience to be about that too. I'm
Mhm.
like thinking like why do I want my audience to like to where this film is catering to. It's
Yeah.
literally my demographic. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? We learn with defeats.
Yeah, well, that's the thing because at the end of the day, when you're making these films, you're also representing a lot of people who don't have a voice. So you want to give them the voice and give them accessibility to your project. So even if you don't get the Tribeca or TIFF or Can or Fantasia, you can still
Honestly
go for the
though,
small ones.
fuck cans. Fuck the fuck the colonizer film festival.
Did you try Sundance?
No, I didn't. When I was going to, it was closed. So I think I'm gonna try again. Because I
You-
know that like it was around.
Yeah,
It was when I was applying. It was closed. It
this
was
spring I
either like
think.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
yeah. It was already. So I was like missed it. So I might go next year.
yeah, next year. Yeah. So
Yeah.
speaking of your experiences in like in on set, did you have any in what did you learn primarily on set? Because I know you've talked about like most of the things you've learned in the actual film, like technical side you've
Mm,
learned, but like what did you learn in terms of like management and also in terms of directing your own film and how to like you gotta put your ego aside sometimes and make it like you said like a collective endeavor. So like what did you learn over the years when you've as you've gone through multiple sets and you know learned.
yeah. I learned a lot, especially in my big film as a director because I I take a lot of time in pre-production. I love planning.
Mm.
And oops, that's my dog. And even though I have a producer, I still like take a lot of it into my hands, like say like the lighting and
Mm.
like all of that into a storyboard.
The
And
mood, the whole.
yeah, the mood, like I had like individual meetings with my crew on how to set it all up together. And
Yeah.
that was fun. I love pre-production. And then the production comes. The shoot comes. Oh boy. Okay.
That's the fun part. Everything
The
goes to shit. Everything goes to shit during the shoot. Always.
okay, the first day, we shot in church. We shot in Loyola Church.
Gotcha.
It was really fun. Everything went so smooth.
Nice.
It all went into how we planned it to be. And then second day was rough. Second day was in my apartment. We had to turn my apartment upside down because we had to take out all of the furniture from my living room
Okay.
take it out into the kitchen or into the hallway,
Yeah.
and then decorate the living room into a whole other altar.
Gotcha.
So, ooh, wait, I can show you like BTS photos later.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole turnout. Like we even like had to unscrew like the shelves on the wall.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Ooh, okay, no name dropping. Well, and this is like an experience that I think of like a lot of filmmakers have to deal with. One of my crews, and I don't blame them, but one of my crew was not feeling good that day,
Okay.
and they had a very special part in the set design.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan was, while we were in the church shooting, they were supposed to be in my apartment decorating the set already, so that the next day we
You
don't have to
arrive.
decorate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just put makeup on the actors, we set up the camera, and we go straight to shooting.
Yeah.
But after the shoot in the church, I came back to apartment and nothing was set up. And the crew texted me and they said, "Hey, I've been going through a really rough patch. I sorry that I couldn't do it." And I'm like, I had to keep my calm,
Yeah.
and I understood that people are having a bad day. And it was like the next day, I told them to like, okay, you know what, you can just come to my place tomorrow at like 7 a.m. I'll provide you coffee and food.
Yeah.
Like I will even like help you, set up whatever you need, just like tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And they came like around like 8:30, and the call time for everybody else was like 9, because I thought like, oh, everybody's gonna be set up so people can just like come at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord. I was so tired from my shoot, from my church shoot. I had to like push out all of the furnitures outside, and then I had to clean it all up. And then my crew came and they were like, "Jela, why is nothing set up?" And I thought, I didn't know. And then while everybody was settling in, all of the cameras, all of the stuff, the crew who was supposed to help with the setting
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
They left in the middle of it. Like they
Wow.
didn't even say goodbye.
Wow. Was that your worst experience at a shoot?
Girl, I think it was. I was on the verge of crying. I had to ask my assistant director, my DP, my cam op, my producer, like my wardrobe, to do the art direction.
Yeah.
And we were like tying the roses on a string one by one, while I was like on the verge of crying. And my assistant director, see, this is where it comes handy, because I trust my assistant director is a known friend of mine, but
Gotcha.
we were just not friends. We also work professionally, and I trust her.
Yeah.
And that should only prove more of like, of my trust in her.
Mm.
Like she was the one who kept me together. She told me that like, okay, we're gonna do it. It's good. We're gonna be running on time. It's fine. The shoot was delayed 2 hours in schedule.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. We started shooting. We supposed to start shooting at like 9:30. We started shooting at like after 11.
Oh wow. Well, what time did you finish?
But here's the thing, we still finished on time.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Oh,
That's
mm,
good. Honestly,
mm.
it has happened to me a lot of times, and also, honestly, it's meant to be. It was supposed to be like that.
Yo, you think
I
so
don't
hard
I
to
don't.
trust the process?
That's the thing. I trust the process all the time. That was my motto. Trust the process. I have a friend of mine. He hates me for it because I always say the same thing. I'm like, yo, trust the process. He's like, there ain't no process. I'm like, no, don't worry. There is a process, man. let it flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow. I did let it flow. And so when I kept asking my AD, what time is it? We're fine. But then sometimes she would be like, okay, Jela, have one fucking take on this and
Yeah.
we will move on. I
Yeah.
was like, okay. On time. We finish at like we're supposed to finish at like 8. We finish at like 7:30. There was still time
Nice.
for people to like, like my actor was like covered in like something something,
Yeah.
but they were able to still shower at my place, and like we were all able to like have dinner, and we wrapped up my place. We cleaned it, set all the furniture back, and it was a good wrap. And
Yeah.
so wow. And like, okay, there was like a time. I'm sorry, I'm like really geeking out on this, because there was a time where like in my head it plays so like the vision like plays so perfectly, because you know what it's gonna do
Yeah.
when you edit it. But then in my crew, like the continuity for them was not working, and we were it was kind of funny because we were like fighting at one point. I was saying like, no, the shot will be like this because it's gonna be a reverse,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the same person in the story but different actor.
Uh,
And they were like, but I don't understand, the continuity will be messed up.
yeah.
I had to like pause the take a big paper and draw like a storyboard on the spot to make them
Oh
understand.
my god.
And after like 10 minutes, I only had 10 minutes to argue. They finally understood what I was trying to do. And
Yeah.
they were like, okay, we get it now. I understood. Like, wow, I had to fight for my life, for my own story, for people to understand, because otherwise they will not.
Yeah.
And it turned out good.
Yeah.
Like even my camera operator, she was telling me like, wow, you were able to do this with the shots that I take. I wasn't thinking that this is gonna be the whole picture. I was like, thank God that you all believed in me, because it was crazy.
Because I was stressing. I was stressing the entire time. I don't know what was
I
going
was
on.
it was crazy. Like because like I had two actors but only one character. So I was having the
Oh,
second character as a body double.
gotcha, gotcha,
So
gotcha,
though basically it's like one character on screen, and then
mm,
they're like they're basically like interacting with themselves.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. And so they
So,
were like, huh? I was like, please, you gotta trust me on my vision. It's gonna work out.
do you do your own editing as well, or do you have an
I
editor?
do my own editing.
It's a
At
lot
that
easier.
time,
It's a lot easier when you're your own editor because you know exactly what you want and post as
yeah,
well. You know.
yeah. Oh yeah, in fiction they have their they have to designate an editor.
That's the hard part because you have to tell them everything again. You have to basically tell the crew and then you tell the editor again what you want, and it's hard because sometimes they don't understand what you want to say. Whereas if you're editing yourself, you can.
Yeah. Although I do wish, like I know that like for that film I wouldn't have an editor because I need to have it my way.
Mhm.
But I was like so tired that I wish I could clone myself,
Yeah, yeah, I know the feeling.
have that person edit for me, and I'm just like hovering above, just chilling, eating, and like, yeah, nice,
Yeah, yeah,
without actually like moving my body, because like it was so taxing.
yeah.
Because like my film was also kind of like a mixed media. Like there's also like, my signature animation on it with the film negatives.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. So, oh yeah,
What you
there's
what
another.
What'd you
Oh
shoot it
yeah,
on? What'd you shoot it on?
we shot it on a Sony. I
Uh,
forgot the model.
was it your camera or was a camera you got from Audio?
Camera of my cinematographer.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to get the Ari or the red.
Oh my God, the Ari is so heavy and so I gotta say unnecessary. The thing is like it's too crispy.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
And I don't like crispy. I'm trying to like get like an old look
Oh,
to my film.
vintage look. Gotcha.
Yeah. I had to like texturize it because it's like I hate the look of 4K on my
Okay.
film. Like for me, 4K films that are just crystal clear look like a YouTube video.
Yeah,
4K is good if you're like watching a recipe, if you're like watching like someone play D&D.
yeah.
But for like a film, I'm sorry, it's just like then
That was
when
odd.
I watch like John Wick, I'm like,
That was oddly
right,
specific. A game of D&D.
yeah, you like what is this, a live stream? Like
You wanted 4K. I want all the action to be showcased. I want to know the dice roll. I want to know everything.
yeah, it's like a car commercial.
Yeah.
And if that's your style, you do you.
Yeah.
No shade, no tea. It's like my preference to not use that. Oh, we even like use like a stocking in front of the
Yeah.
lens.
Yeah.
I love the whole like blurred,
Yeah.
smeared
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. A mist filter. Yeah. Like a
Yeah,
little.
mist filter.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love anamorphic. I like how they
the
whenever I
light.
shoot, yeah, I like how the lens flare and also how the curves in the side because I don't want everything to look too good. I want it to look a little bit deformed.
Yeah. I get you. I get
That's
you.
that's
I
that's
get
more that's
you.
like I don't know if you ever watch You like the series. They
Oh, do
shoot
they use anamorphic
yeah they
there?
shoot anamorphic and it's like everything looks like it's like it's all like lines and stuff and then the person in the middle is just
That works, eh? Because like it's just like a
yeah it's all
stalker
yeah it's
film. So
very
it's like,
creepy kind of yeah
so it's
exactly yeah.
kind of
It's
like a
like a
tunnel
vignette. It's what like
vision.
yeah, it's like a vignette type of thing where you like you see yeah
Yeah, I see like if it depends on the content of your shooting,
yeah
though that really works. Like the anamorphic, and then like you only see the person, like everything
I
else
think
like
it's
blurs
yeah
around the
yeah yeah.
edges.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Oh, I want another. Can I talk one
Go
more
ahead go ahead
thing
go
in
ahead
my film?
go ahead
It's like one of the fun parts and one of the hard parts is doing the film animation sequence.
yeah
I had like on top of editing the images that we shot, I had to do my own light box, and I had to like pass it through the front of the light box, take a picture of it,
yeah
do that for like every animation sequence. That was so hard. I was like in my little corner doing that like little splice of it, and then I had to take all of that image in my editing software and put into a sequence. So, but before all that, I didn't just like take pictures of like random stuff. I had to
yeah
bleach my film negatives. I have to
okay
bleach it, and then so it kind of it's like it the color gets different.
yeah well you try and film
Yeah,
yeah okay
film.
you didn't shoot in digital
Mm. What you mean?
like for example like if you didn't use the DSLR or anything like that you had to actually use a film
Oh, wait, like I use like this
yeah
film.
exactly yeah those yeah you actually use film
I use film, and then like I gotta to make an animation. Well, you know how animation works. Like you gotta take picture one by one.
yeah yeah
So like for example, this thing, like it's kind of this one has like
okay yeah
one of
yeah
the thing. So I bleached it, and then I wrote on it,
okay
and then I had to scan that one by one, and then I kind of want the letters to like moving one by one too. So like
oh
I would write, I would take a picture, write
right
again, take
another
a
one yeah
picture.
yeah I got you yeah that's long.
It's long, I know.
That's
That's
like
what I
for
love though.
everyone. That's like for everyone too, no?
For everyone too, and it's like depending on the speed of the animation too
Yeah,
that I want. Sometimes I want it like kind of like jittery, and then sometimes I want it like super fast.
Jesus. Yes. How, mu-
It
how
was
much? How much time was that? I was like a week.
no, I lost. There was a time that I lost track of time, and I was like not talking to anybody. I would be like, yeah, hey.
Oh
Talk
my
to
god.
you in I don't know what day was it, and I would even have like marks. Like, see, I have like a tape there, another
Oh
tape
my god.
there,
Yeah.
and then another tape there on like where I want it to be.
Well, at least it's your films. Ultimately, it's like like you're very passionate about it, so that's a good thing because like you put 100% in something that you actually want to do. So
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta put all of your thing into it, because otherwise, I mean, if you're a filmmaker, like
filmmaker.
for the shits and giggles, that's fun. I
Yeah.
am just like my time. I feel like my time on earth is too short.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta do like all of every second of it, like like finding beauty in it, or if I don't find beauty in it, I gotta make the beauty
Yeah.
out of my own hands. And that's fun. You guys should try doing your own animation.
Well, I want to tell you, I want to give you a last question before we
Yes.
we leave. So what is it be your like your ultimate goal in the end? What is your end goal as a filmmaker?
What my end goal in being a filmmaker?
Yeah, like your career, you're like if you were able to shoot for the stars, if it's like Oscar nominated, you want this, you want that, I don't know, whatever you want. You have all the resources. What is your end goal?
Ooh, see,
What is Jela's
my,
goal?
my, my vision board is always like changing. You know, like a year ago, I would be like, yeah, I want to go to Oscar, I want to go to Cannes, but then like all of these things
Is
arise
that
now.
yeah?
All of these things arise, like, okay, I don't really want to do that anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like for the glory of what, to appease like the
yeah,
Western white
absolutely.
rich audience. And then like I've been getting into more like, like activism work, and I think like one of my biggest goal is to have my film screened in the Philippines,
Oh,
because
sick.
it is so hard
Yeah.
to get your film screened in there. And like, and I know like with the kind of films that I make, like, Lino Broca,
No.
he's like one of the national filmmakers back in the day, but the films that he made are too like explicit and too
Yeah,
political.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was he got into a car accident, but it
Yeah,
was so mysterious that like no one really knows what happened.
yeah,
People were speculating that he got murdered,
yeah.
and because his films were too,
Provocative, provocative. They're
it's
provocative.
too
Yes.
provocative. It's
Yeah.
like it's going very against the Philippine government. How you know how Philippine government is.
Yeah.
And I think like with the kind of films that I also make, it's very anti, like the conservative Christian stuff.
Mm,
And but I do want to be able to like screen it, like even just for like a local screening with the people that
yeah.
I want them to see it.
In theaters.
Yeah, and like, like, but that's the thing, there's a risk to it. Like I don't want to get banned to be in the Philippines. I've never been there for like in a decade.
Yeah,
But because that aligns with my goal of, being able to liberate the Philippines one day maybe, and then by then we won't be afraid to like show anything that we
yeah. Be
want.
yourself and actually show your true self.
Yeah, and we don't have to kill like you know journalists,
Yeah.
activists in the Philippines,
Mm,
because there will be no censorship.
yeah. So any promotions you wanna give off? Any projects you're working on? You wanna like I'll link them all in the description below if you have any like tickets, performances, whatever it may be.
Nothing really at the moment.
Okay.
Well, if you wanna follow what I've been doing, you can. I guess I can plug my Instagram. That's all.
Instagram.
That's where all I do my stuff. Like, like I organize events for community as well, and I do work on films with other people. Like most of them are like queer shows
Mm,
or like political stuff. And if you
mm.
want to follow me and collaborate with me, I would be happy to do that. My Instagram is Jela DP. The DP is my initials for my
All right.
last name.
All right. Perfect.
Thank
Well,
you,
thank you.
Daryl.
Thank you, Jela. We'll be back in the next episode with another guest.
We be checking back.